On this Friday in the district, Arizona Coyotes coming to town with the NHL on NBC Sports Washington. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin upstairs, Al Kokic, your ringside reporter, and then dead set center screen 49 in red. It's Brett Leeson making his NHL debut. 22-year-old native of Calgary. Couple of seasons in the American Hockey League, just brought back in from the AHL and into the lineup with Washington minus both TJ Oshie and Nick Dowd, in addition to Nicholas Backstrom. The house is ready to go. Happy Hockey Halloween to you. It's the Caps and Coyotes. Referees are Brandon Blandina and Francis Sharon, as they were on Wednesday. Steve Barton and Jesse Marquis have the lines. Washington a mark of 4-0-3 out of the Metro. Arizona 0-6-1, moved into the Central this season.
And they've lost 5 straight, and they've been dominated when it comes to offense to defense. They haven't defended well. Look for a simpler game from Arizona today rather than since they played last night.
Coming up short against the Lightning an evening ago, fell behind quickly 3-0. Soderstrom, 77 in the white, finds the veteran winger there. 35-year-old Andrew Ladd will skip it to center. On the rewind, the pass for Anthony Mantha that was a bit too far in front of him. Gathering in, Ilya Lyubushkin, Russian-born defender, works through center, gave it up. Hathaway looking to go for a 3-on-3 in transition. Bang, bang, play! And the stop made by Karel Vejmelka.
Vejmelka, nice stop for him. Hasn't been in North America. This is his first year. He's been over in the Czech Elite League, the Extra League, and there he takes it right to the belly. A good entry on a 3-on-2 by the Capitals, and Hathaway throws that across, and you have Hagelin involved. Hathaway to the middle, a good look right off the get-go for Lars Eller, but right into the belly. That's a high-quality chance on a rush.
Eller jumps into that center spot, vacated by Nick Dowd. Dowd aggravating an injury earlier today at MedStar Caps Iceplex at the morning skate. Top of the screen, you're seeing the Arizona Coyotes line combinations and deep pairings. Washington gets the offensive zone draw. This is Faravari sending it down low for the captain, Alex Ovechkin, who has been off to a white-hot start with goals in 6 of his first 7 games. Veteran blue liner, Strahlman clearing the center. Kessel not going far, as Tom Wilson will revolve back onto his side of center ice. Faravari has plenty of room to motor through neutral. Kuznetsov played it out wide. It never arrived at Ovechkin. Kessel on the bump set, moving it on for the center iceman Johan Larsson. Larsson goes after John Carlson. Faravari twisted around. Yashkin, a former Cap, his centering pass behind its intended target and working back through center. Caps on the run. The pass from Hathaway intended for Ovechkin. Looking to Kuznetsov. Lined up there by Shane Gostisbehere, 14 in the white, former Flyer. Bullet drive there from Orlov that went high and wide. Rebound, skated to safety by Johan Larsson. Just crossed the 2-minute mark. Nothing in D.C.
A couple of looks each way. The Capitals had that quality opportunity from Dimitri at the other end. If Yaskin can connect the dots in front of the net, they had a 2-on-1 right at the top of the circles in against Samsonov. Good defense by the Caps.
Hagelin has some room through center. Getting wide, throws an area pass for Eller. Eller pinched along the boards. 5-on-5 play continues. Shots on goal. 1-0 in favor of Washington to this point. All the way around, Hagelin settles. Feed it up top to Orlov. Shimmying away from Keller. Orlov turns. Still in possession. Mauled all the way to the boards by Antoine Roussel. Eller off the cycle. Centering pass for Hagelin. Move it on top. Nice keep in by Van Riemsdyk. Leeson gets involved south of the goal line along with Eller. Eller taken to the boards by Dyson Mayo, 61 in the white. Back to point position, Van Riemsdyk. Caps with a territorial advantage so far in the first 3 minutes. Getting Schultz activated. Justin works in from point position. Centering pass came all the way through. Van Riemsdyk fires. Covered up by Vejmelka.
Excellent zone time for the Washington Capitals against the Coyotes here to start the game.
Tonight's Star Trek is presented by Toyota. It's the net-minding matchup.
So it's Vejmelka against Samsonov. Vejmelka looking for his first NHL win. He's 0-3-1, 3.15, 899. Sammy has not lost in regulation at 2-0-1, 3.32. I'd like to see his save percentage rocket here tonight against Arizona.
Caps getting the offensive zone draw, and again, Vejmelka has it in the glove. Karel Vejmelka, Nashville draft pick, never played for the Predators.
No, played in the extra league over in Czech, Joe, and played very well. Played over 100 games there and won a couple of championships. So he's looking for his first NHL win here tonight.
First 3 shots of the game belonging to the Caps. Brett Leeson getting comfortable at the NHL ranks. Last couple of years at the American Hockey League, Leeson with 11 goal seasons.
Nice line he's playing with down in Hershey to start this season with Protas at center and Fialbi. They can move that puck and they can skate. They're having a good time. He gets the opportunity. I think it's because of his training camp. When I was at Kettler and watched him play and watched him in training camp, I thought he was terrific.
Ladd reversing field for the Coyotes and the visiting White Sweaters. This is a long, and I mean long, road trip for Arizona. The third of 6 straight games on the road. And against formidable competition. 5 players in that quarrel. Ovechkin comes out of there with it. Sends it out for Kuznetsov. Golfed away by Jacob Chychrun. Outstanding young blue liner for the Coyotes.
He's the building block.
Yashkin sends that one wide. Chychrun towards the cage. That one hummed wide on the short side. Mayo fires, covered up and cleaned up there by Samsonov. We mentioned Washington minus TJ Oshie, an injury that occurred last time out.
Took a big slap shot from DeKaiser, the Detroit Red Wings, right in the slot area. And there you see it right off the outside of the right skate boot. Oshie ended up playing over 18 minutes of that game. I'm sure after the game when he undid his skate, things weren't feeling very well.
TJ listed as week to week. Washington and Peter Laviolette already without Nicholas Backstrom, who's been on long-term IR from the outset of the season. And we mentioned the Nick Dowd injury, so you're minus a couple of critical center icemen and an all-everything kind of winger who means so much both on and off the ice.
The positive for the Caps probably is that Nick's has been in full equipment prior to practice, getting to twirl a little bit to try to get back and get ready as soon as he can.
Lawson Krause chipping one towards the cage. Krause had the only goal an evening ago for the Coyotes in Tampa. Centering pass. Krause hovering there. There's a penalty call coming. It's against Washington. Vejmelka to the bench. 6 attackers on in white. Strahlman sends it to the boards. Touched up by Orlov, and Washington goes shorthanded for what looks like a cross-check.
Yeah, it definitely was a cross-check right to the right side of Samsonov. An easy detection by the refereeing staff. Eller to the box.
Washington fell number 20 minutes for cross-checking.
They had a little miscue down around the goal line, which led to a quick attack. Watch the play in front, and there comes Eller right across the numbers. He will sit, and Arizona will go to the power play. That's an easy call, especially with the crackdown. Might have got away with it last year. Not going to get away with it this year.
Kessel and Gostisbehere in back. Krause, Fisher, and Keller across the top. For Andre Turini, the head coach of the Coyotes. See the special teams numbers for Arizona. Just dreadful on both sides of the equation. The team that is 0-6-1 has the first manpower advantage on the night. Kessel, Iron Man for the Coyotes, gave it up at the line, and that power play is about to vanish. Krause on his way to the box for Arizona.
Probably a good penalty to trip down Big Tom Wilson because Willie was off on a breakaway. Krause is going to go to the box. Didn't like the call, but here it comes.
Number 67, 2 minutes interference.
Going to give an interference call. Could have been a trip also. Got in the lane of Tom Wilson after he made a good play at the blue line right there. Now he's taken off. A little bit of a hook around his body and keeps his feet moving. The key thing is there, watch Wilson. As soon as he gets going, he keeps his feet moving. If he slows down with that little stick in his body, there's going to be no call.
Locker, what are the best instincts for a penalty killer to have? Tom seems to have them.
Well, reading and reacting to the plays and already sniffing out what they're trying to do.
Carlson bombs one off the glass. The big rebound back onto the Washington side.
He's really learned that role too. You know, it's hard to penalty kill. I never penalty kill. They pick players that are quick, that they're fast, they've got good sticks, all the things that Tom brings to the table, and he's worked at that craft, and he's been terrific.
You never penalty killed, but you did flamingo. You flamingoed quite often.
That's probably why I didn't penalty kill.
Washington here, 4-on-4 for another 60 seconds. 0-0. Capitals and Coyotes. First of two meetings between these two. Mantha plays it on top. John Carlson has a lot of room. Carlson feeds. Mantha off the pump fake. Rotation play. Backdoor Carlson just misfired. Centering pass covered up by the netminder Karel Vejmelka. 6 minutes and 38 seconds gone by. Connor McMichael and the Caps welcoming Vejmelka and the Coyotes to town. Take as much as you like. Here's Locker with the Taco Bell take.
And we're going to start off with the way Ovechkin's come out of the gate. He's been red hot. We all know that. But take a look at this streak he's got going. Has a point in 7 straight games to start the season. The franchise record is 8. Held by Ovechkin and 7 as running mate. And I don't know how I made this. Tied for 7th in franchise history. I went 6 straight. I can't believe it. How did I do that?
Adam Miller had way too much time to do research.
Well, no.
Along with Ryan Billy and everybody in the truck.
He's trying to be nice to me because usually he skewers me when we're in Toronto and says Palmateer has more assists than I ever had with the Leafs.
Skewer is a nice word.
Yes.
Strawman clears it ahead. We're 4-on-4 for another 30 seconds. Caps will then get an abbreviated power play. They have the game's first 4 shots on goal in a 0-0 contest with Arizona.
And 3 of those shots are from the defensive pairing of TVR and Schultz.
Sherry will scoop this in. Race after Strawman. Gets help from Hathaway. Off the back of the cage. Gostisbehere bouncing up from his knees to his skates to start this breakout. Caps are 3 seconds away from that mini power play. On the move, Beagle able to clear. Jay Beagle, 83 in the white. 11 years with the Washington Capitals organization. The hand-to-head for Kuznetsov is off target. That was from behind the center stripe, so it's icing against Washington. Washington with another 12 ticks on the power play. Have a peek at these penalty killing numbers.
Wow, here's the first 6 games, 44.4. The Hawks, the Canucks, the Red Wings have trouble killing off penalties. You take a look at them on our list through the first 6 games. Way back into the day there. The Canucks struggled. I thought they would be good with Beaks. And then he left town and now finds himself in Arizona.
Andre Tourigny's group gave up a power play goal an evening ago to Steven Stamkos. Fisher, the Chicago native, ready to take this draw. Washington gets control. Final ticks of that abbreviated power play. Lawson Krause soon to leave the sin bin.
And the Jets and the Yotes are the only teams to allow 10 PPGs.
Carlson looking cross rink. Krause was just there in time, so Arizona's back to 5-on-5 with 8 minutes clear in this opening period. Kuznetsov winding it up. Yevgeny Kuznetsov right up the gut. Beautiful behind the back pass. Looking for Wilson. It gets away. On the fly through center, Kessel. Moving it for Larson. Phil Kessel playing his 908th straight game.
Amazing. An Iron Man for sure. Hopes to beat the record all time if he keeps playing at his age. He continues to score, Joe, and he's got a list of 8 teams if they decide to trade for him or to trade him out of town. But he's been a good veteran and a good find for Arizona.
Trevor Van Riemsdyk hurriedly out of his own end. Teaming up with Schultz. LaPierre in tight. At the doorstep, back to point position it comes. Long slapper, deflected and held by the netminder Vejmelka.
That's a heck of a stop there by Vejmelka. He's been very good and honed in on that puck. I mean, that's a dart from the blue line through a maze of players, and he's able to gobble that up. Played in the Czech Extra League with Plekanec and Marty Erat for a couple of seasons.
Oh, you can't say that last name. Just kidding, Marty.
I know.
Beagle takes care of LaPierre there on that draw. Jay Beagle, for such a long time, an outstanding face-off man. Won 15 of 21 last night in Tampa. And get a chance to do it again off the icing call.
And there's Ladd. It's nice to see him back in the National Hockey League, Joe. He didn't play all but 30 games or so at the most over the last 3 seasons. Had to battle through injuries, not being in the lineup, playing the American League, and he too trying to get to 1,000 games. And he's not very far off. Nice to see him back in the NHL.
He'll turn 36 in December. Face-off belongs to Washington. Leeson creeping out of the corner. Long-range drive that floats wide of Vejmelka. Van Riemsdyk picks up Sherry. Connor Sherry on top for Schultz. Leeson straight away. Long wrister bouncing down. Vejmelka made the save. To the corner boards, the rebound goes. LaPierre on top for Schultz. Around the horn, Van Riemsdyk. Schultz closing. Fakes. Settles and fires. Blocker pad save by Vejmelka. Gostisbehere goose this back for Stralman, 35-year-old Swede, now playing with Arizona, the 6th different team with which he's worked. Jensen on it for Washington, Stokes it in the corner for Orlov. On for Daniel Sprong. Sprong took a misstep leaving the zone. 10 in the red, back into the lineup after being a healthy scratch on Wednesday.
And I like the fact that he got his legs going there, Joe. Looked like he toe-picked a little bit because he was leaning forward, trying to turn the legs to get more speed and get the center of the ice to create more options for himself.
Ran right into the young defender there, Victor Soderstrom, 77 in the white. On the recoil, Mantha has a step. Anthony Mantha right on in. Pad save by Vejmelka.
He just stayed with it enough. That reach of Mantha could have caused him problems.
Was it me, or did Mantha try to go Forsberg there?
I think he did try to.
Forsberg.
Yes, one hand. Absolutely he did.
Krause will clear it in. Famous postage stamp, right?
Yes, it is.
Not an easy move to pull off in regulation time. I could see it in a shootout.
He definitely has the reach to do it. I don't think he had his wingspan at the furthest point. If he did, it would have got past the goaltender's left leg.
Faravari made a smooth move, a snapshot that sails wide. The big rebound, chasing the Caps back onto their side of center. John Carlson gets away from Clayton Keller. Keller, at one point, was the youngest All-Star in Arizona history. Faravari has some room. He'll fire. Plucked out of the air by Vejmelka. Nothing in D.C., but not for a lack of chances. Washington with the best chance most recently. Mantha full flight. Headed away.
The Capitals and Coyotes are scoreless in the first. Kevin McCarthy, when you're playing a team that is yet to get a win this season, what's the biggest thing you stress to your players?
Well, I think obviously you have to know your opponent, where they're at, and obviously a team like this that's hasn't won a game in a while. I mean, you know they're going to come out there like Tiger Cage, so we got to be ready to play, and I think we are. I think we're skating well tonight. We're doing the right things. We're moving pucks quickly, and then playing the offensive zone and getting things done in that area too. So I like the way we're playing so far.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks.
Al, thanks very much. I entered the building this afternoon with both Kevin McCarthy and Scott Arniel. I could tell the Caps coaching staff was ready to mean business as their team faces Arizona tonight and gets ready for a Sunshine State road trip. It's Kuznetsov slithering in from one knee, turns the corner. Evgeny Kuznetsov bumped off there by Dyson Mayo, the 25-year-old in the lineup for Arizona, 6th-year pro. Beagle putting a lock onto Wilson. Kuznetsov finagles back behind the cage, goes twister pass on top. Van Riemsdyk will activate along with Ovechkin. Looping here, Schultz. Through the cycle game. Kuznetsov doesn't elect to pull the trigger just yet. 8 minutes to go in the period. Ovechkin will fire. That was blocked. Arizona looking to clear. Failed on the first opportunity. Kuznetsov inside. Wilson denied there. The carom to the corner.
And just missed Obi with his stick. He was at the far post and just jumped over his stick. Some good zone time against some of their younger defensemen and inexperienced guys like Mayo. They've got to continue to put on that type of heat against some of their defenders.
Someone may need to wake Ilya Samsonov up. It's 10-0 in terms of shots on net in favor of Washington.
And Arizona has all of 4 shot attempts here so far. Team D for sure. And the ice has been tilted all the way down in front of their goaltender.
McMichael looking for his first NHL strike. Gets silenced along the boards there by Larson. Larson fanned on his clearing effort. Gets help from Gostisbehere. On target to Strahlman. Kessel rifles one in. All the way around that turnstile and back onto the Arizona side of center.
That didn't turn out the way he wanted it to. I don't think there was no guys in there to get that rim around the wall.
Sprong walks it into the high slot area. Nick Jensen hits the brakes. Gets locked up with Yashkin. There's a penalty call coming up. It's against Arizona. Samsonov racing to the bench. Extra attacker on for Washington. 6-on-5 here with 6.5 to go in the opening period. As Jensen will rewind things. Delayed penalty call against the Coyotes. Ovechkin's going to take it for a little ride. Waiting for the breakout to begin. The long stretch through center. Finding Lars Eller. Wilson carving in. Eller turns. Delayed penalty against Arizona. 6-on-5 for Washington with the netminder pulled. Move it. Rotation looking for Wilson. It bounced over his blade and the Coyotes go a man down.
Give credit to Jensen on this play. Yashkin's going to go to the penalty box, the former Washington Capital. It's going to be a holding call, but it's all Jensen. The way he is able to shimmy at the blue line. That's what the Capitals coaches want them to do. They want to try to keep pressure on the D and the forward, covering them. And there's the hold by Big Yashkin. And an opportunity. The stick gets stuck right in his shirt there. And the hand gets part of his jersey, and he goes off on a minor penalty for holding.
Just one of the areas the Caps will miss TJ Oshie on this first power play unit. It features Kuznetsov and Sherry, Carlson and Ovechkin, as well as Tom Wilson. Wilson will be the man inside that diamond, playing the quote-unquote bumper spot that Oshie works so well. Beagle will clear it right away. Second power play for the Capitals. The first one was barely 30 seconds.
That good draw there by Beeks, and he's giving it to Kuznetsov. They were talking all the way up the ice.
Kuznetsov breezing through center. Sherry motors in. Out wide for Wilson. Connecting the dots to Kuznetsov. 5-on-4, they have it set up. Sherry looking inside. Kuznetsov pivots. Carlson fires. Glove save by Karel Vejmelka.
He's looked good. And it's weird shooting on a goalie that catches with the opposite hand like he does. And for righties, it's a lot harder to try to find the back of the net. You're usually shooting the other side top shelf. And here comes a shot. It's even redirected. And he's able to stretch out. Vejmelka's looked sharp. He's kept him in this hockey game. 11 for 11 so far against the guys in red.
You should see where Alex Ovechkin is poised, waiting to fire away. Closing in on 4th all-time in the goal-scoring annals of the NHL history. It's Carlson playing the two-man game. Kuznetsov lets it go, and a pad save for the netminder Vejmelka. This will skip past Carlson and force him back through center.
And I see why they wanted him to be the backup this season, because he's looked sharp so far.
On the go, crossing over Mayo to make the play, and then seeing it spilled all the way down by Lyubushkin. It was Ivan Prosvetov who was in goal an evening ago. Made 23 saves last night in that loss to the Bolts. Carlson, whoa, lost the handle there. Fisher can be dangerous. Carlson recovers to clean up his miscue. 4:40 separating us from Integrate Intermission Live. Shots on goal are 12-zip in favor of Washington. Move it this way for Ovechkin. Half a minute left in the power play. Settling. Play it on around. Eller looking to the interior. Sprong is the man inside. Eller waits, drifts away. They play it around, but Keller makes the pick. Clayton Keller will clear.
And very versatile is Clayton Keller. He can penalty kill. He's on the power play. He's very good even strength. And because of that, he leads this team. He's sort of their offensive catalyst overall to start this season.
Mantha motors in. 23 years old. Clayton Keller. He's already played 300-plus games. Schultz on the rewind with Orloff with 3:50 to go. Caps fizzling on the power play. Eller on for Sprong, who sweeps it past Labushkin. Sherry there, top of the forecheck. Pinched off by Gostisbehere. Yashkin maneuvers out of his own zone. Dmitry Yashkin, who had tremendous numbers in the KHL the last couple of years.
38 goals last year, led that league. It was 10 better than anybody else, and his 60 points were in the top 5. That's why he returns to the National Hockey League.
Played with Washington in the 18-19 season, 37 games with the Caps. First NHL game out there for 49 in the red. Brett Leeson, who was just pickpocketed. Back comes Chychrun. Chychrun feeds. Krause fires. Kick out save. Samsonov's first of the night, and he'll cover. Welcome to the game, Ilya. 0-0 hockey game. Back with more on NBC Sports Washington. Weekend and Slapshot's going cowpoke for you. No score, Coyotes and Caps on the Toyota League leaderboard. Alex just being Alex.
Yeah, when you look at the leaderboard, I mean, first in goals, he already has 8 of them. Shots is 31. He's tied for second. Shot attempts 57 is third. His goals have come on 8 on 31 shots. His average shooting percentage coming into this season was 12.8. His high was 15.4. He's shooting at a shooting percentage over 25 right now. That's how good he's been.
Samsonov flags down that long drive from Gostisbehere for his second save of the period. Gostisbehere, 28-year-old, played 3 years at Union College. Remember him when he was there? Wow, dynamite for an NCAA championship team.
Sort of a surprise move, but Philly had to unload some guys. For salary cap situation was not very good, and they ended up getting nobody for him.
Sherry, 3-on-3 the other way. Stick checked at the attacking line by Gostisbehere as Kessel floats this one back on down for an icing against Arizona.
What do you want from your sportsbook? The best odds? Same game parlays you can boost for even more? You want to live your bet life.
I'll bet Drew Brees is keeping an eye on the out-of-town scoreboard. 5 other games going on around the NHL. Rangers 2 better than the Blue Jackets at last check. Strome and Lafreniere on the score sheet.
I think they're trying to get their first home win up at MSG.
On the dasher, Strahlman for Arizona. 2.5 to play. Opening period. Alexa Landestoy, Alan May standing by in our studios. Beagle bumped immediately by Van Riemsdyk as Schultz will collect. Ladd was right there to put a hip into him. 38 in the whites, another former Cap. That's Liam O'Brien. Pad save by Samsonov, a huge rebound. Back for Mayo, who stumbled with it to the boards.
Well, O'Brien took them all of 5 seconds last night to fight Maroon off the opening draw.
Teammates gave Liam a lot of credit for that, trying to inspire that squad on the road. Didn't turn out so well, though. It was 3-0 for Tampa in that first period. Coach Tourigny, though, said that the Coyotes never quit. Battled back and played very well in the second period, especially.
Well, they played well in the first period, even though they've been outshot 12-4. They've sort of slowed everything down. They've allowed their goaltender no second looks from the Caps. Initial shots, he's been stellar.
Mantha greeted by Fisher. Anthony Mantha protecting the puck, finds Sprong. Deal it back for a Carlson drive. That sails wide of the cage. Faravari to McMichael. McMichael for Carlson. Connor let it come on through. Mantha throws the stiff arm out, sweeps it down low. McMichael has his defender hung up. Rolls it on top to Faravari. Faravari's wrister spoiled, blocked away by the veteran winger there, Louis Eriksson. Faravari winds it up. Carlson plays it ahead. Mantha through center, less than 60 seconds to go. Eller right to the cage! Stopped by Vamelka, and he'll squeeze as we get into the Chicken McNugget minutes.
At the end of that play, Sprong was cross-checked in front of the net. The referees did not detect it as the goalie gobbled up that Eller opportunity. Here they are talking to one another. Spronger not too happy. Check out Mantha's play. Sort of gets lucky there. A little chip from behind. Ends up on the stick of Eller, who can't open the legs. And there's that cross check at the end on Sprong that goes undetected. Here it comes. Just a little shot right in front. And Sprong got clipped up high. No call on the play. But another good opportunity. Lars Eller looking for his first goal of the season.
Folks, when the Capitals score in the last minute of any regulation period, you'll get a free 6-piece McNugget with a minimum $1 purchase. It's available only on the McDonald's app the very next day.
I think that was Labushkin. Who got a piece of Sprong.
Ilya Labushkin. One of my favorite names.
Me too.
50 seconds left. Opening period. Orlov will switch it. Long wrister on the way, deflected down in front of Vemelka. Ovechkin hurriedly finds Kuznetsov. Slithering away from his check. One-hand shuffle. Kuznetsov thought he was being held. The officials allow the play to continue. Labushkin sends it out there for Beagle. Beagle one-on-one. Jay curling to his backhand, gets tied up along the boards. Punched away for Ovechkin with 20 ticks remaining. On the move, Wilson fires. That's shrugged aside. The big rebound to center. 13, now 12 seconds to go. Kuznetsov uncontested out of his own end. Spots Orlov. That pass didn't get there cleanly. And we are going to play 20 minutes at Capital One Arena with Arizona and Washington deadlocked at 0.
The one thing I saw from the guys in red here in this first period, number one, volumes of shots. Number two, if they can continue to use speed wide on their defense, they're going to light up their goaltender. They've got to continue going along the dots hard to the net, and they're going to get some more good looks.
Sort of a sleepy start to this Halloween weekend in Washington. Done with one. Red, white, and blue on display inside Capital One Arena. After 20 minutes, Karel Vemelka, one of the key figures in goal for Arizona, as we get to integrate Intermission Live. Turning things over, Alexa Landestor and Alan May. Just a whole bunch of cuteness on display yesterday. The Caps shooting their annual canine calendar at MedStar. Hey, get off me! Some players bringing their own dogs. Others were photographed with puppies from the Wolf Trap Animal Rescue Lock. Great stuff there. Caps, Coyotes, no score after 20 minutes of play. And this powerful connection brought to you by Xfinity X5. We brought a Beagle back to town.
Yeah, and he's loved here in town. 471 games played for the Washington Capitals. Jay is a fan favorite for what he did on the ice, part of the Stanley Cup crew, but what he did off the ice also. It was a great combination. Beeks was revered not only for face-offs, his teamwork, his leadership, you name it, and he gave his all. That's one guy that would never leave an ounce of energy in his body for the betterment of a team.
A lot of us around the rink earlier today at the morning skate were thinking back, during the Cup run, it was Chandler Stevenson, Jay Beagle, and Devontae Smith-Pelly as the fourth line for Washington, and eventually won it all in Vegas. I think back to his rookie time. Would have been Donald Brashear to his left and Boyd Gordon, who would have played with the Coyotes in the past, on his right. We were trying to think of Beagle combinations and line mates. As Larson revs it up to his forehand, he'll spin. The second period unfolds. Even in full strength, Washington out shooting Arizona 14-4 in the opening period, but neither squad turning on the red light. Larson back behind Samsonov. Chikrin towards the cage. That hit the cross traffic in front. Schultz looking to sprinkle it out. Ladd took the boards away. Caps get a second and third chance looking to clear. 49 in the red out there for Washington. That's Brett Leeson making his NHL debut. Nice send in for Sherry. Sherry, sharp angle, floats it wide of the goal. Guarded tonight by Arizona and Karel Vemelka.
And that last shot that Arizona took really stung TVR. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, he went right to the bench. He was smarting. He was on one knee for a count of 5, got up. And as the puck moved up ice, he quickly got to the Capitals bench.
Jensen working in from point position. Locker at the outset of the telecast, you were looking for some secondary scoring for Washington. The Caps blue line. 5D have scored goals already this season. That's the most of any D core in the NHL.
Only Trevor without one so far.
Took a while for John Carlson, right? I think there were 3 or 4 others who beat him to the punch to get on the scoreboard. Annually Washington's leader when it comes to goals and assists from the back end. Nearing the 2-minute mark in period 2, 0-0. Krause there hovering. You mentioned Liam O'Brien dropping the mitts with Maroon. Krause did so too in the same first period an evening ago.
I think this team is tied with the lead in the league with fights so far this season. They have 6 throughout their lineup.
Everybody on good behavior so far tonight. Anthony Mantha puts it away for Sprong. Sprong cut off by Gostisbehere. Eriksson will swing, now somewhat 10 years removed from his NHL All-Star festivities, 21 in the white. Flexed out of the air by Mantha. On the headman pass, he was looking for Sprong. Gostisbehere was in the location. Arizona in the traveling white jerseys. The Coyotes will be in action next in Carolina. They're headed for a Sunday game there against the high-powered Hurricanes. Sprong long range, no worries for Vejmelka. Off to the corner boards we go. Connor McMichael watches this one hit up into the safety netting for the whistle.
Early on this period, TVR got hit up high on a shot from the point. Here comes the shot from Chychrun. He didn't see it coming. He got in front of it, and there he is, right in the side, left side. And he went down in a hurry. The puck caught him probably right under and over the pants and under your shoulder pads, and that's a stinger right to the upper body there for the Caps defenseman, number 57.
30-year-old New Jersey native right back out there. Van Riemsdyk, you see, with the 4 helpers in the 7 games so far. Flagged down by Vejmelka, will do it again for another offensive zone draw.
They need second and third opportunities against Vejmelka. He's looked pretty sharp. I mean, he's gobbling up everything. He's not leaving any loose change against Hathaway and company. Hathaway's one of those guys I talked about at the top of the show. 6 guys up front have yet to find the back of the net this season.
Garnett wants to stir it up. Had 3 hits against Detroit. Washington falling to the Motor City Wings in overtime Wednesday. Caps at 4-0-3. Arizona 0-6-1 to start this 21-22 campaign. 2 clubs won't see each other again until late in April at Gila River Arena. Locker's favorite. I just like saying the name.
One of my favorite areas.
Yeah, definitely. Hagelin works a cycle to Lars Eller. Eller jumping into that center spot with the injury to Nick Dowd earlier today at the morning skate. He seemed to aggravate an ailment that he would have first picked up against Calgary last weekend. So he's out, and then we know that TJ Oshie is missing now from week to week. Van Riemsdyk spins away from pressure. They try to bump set it for Leeson. Sherry at the line offside against Washington. Folks, we want to let you know that you can get partial plans, 5 or 10 game plans. They're available now. Call 202-266-CAPS. You can pick from a set of pre-selected plans or build your own schedule. Centering pass comes back and splits the gap. It'll be Orlov to take with Jensen. Through center. And Jensen will spill it in. Larson feeds for Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin up through for Yashkin. Samsonov waiting at the end of the line. Whoa, that was nearly a sloppy pass. And that's definitely a sloppy exit of the zone. As the hit was thrown, there's a slashing call coming. Barrett Hayton's the 21-year-old top-line center tonight.
And the Caps will go to another power play here.
Arizona now penalty number 16, 2-minute flashing.
And it's going to be the veteran lad going off for Arizona. Something you don't want to see from a veteran guy. Pot a couple of cups. 1-1 with the Hawks, 1-1 with Carolina. And coach not too happy. There's a little slash right across the arm. And then coming back, hitting of the stick. And that sends him to the box. Leeson in the neutral zone. Dumps the puck in, gets the puck off his face from Jensen, right side of his face, being looked at the Capitals bench.
An Arizona team that has been tormented by power play goals early in this season. Jay Beagle striding through center. Washington gets its 3rd man advantage, its 2nd full one on the night. Off this turnover, kick out save by Samsonov. Lyubushkin fires, that's blocked away.
We thought the Caps power play was getting untracked after the 2 PPGs last game. Last game was the only game the Caps did not strike 5-on-5.
Sherry ambles into the zone, feeds it back. They play it to Kuznetsov. He'll work the half board. Ovechkin one time blocked. The rebound picked up on the move and spun out of there by Swedish-born Johan Larsson. Kuznetsov revolving with Wilson at the attack. Wilson puts some air under that for Kuznetsov. Carlson, cross rink. Ovechkin one time. Stick save by Vejmelka. Kuznetsov loads it up for Carlson again to Ovechkin. The slap pass through the seam. Kuznetsov feeds through that same window. Knocked away by Chychrun. Kuznetsov will try it again. Carlson straight away. 50 seconds on the man advantage. Pad save Vejmelka. Rebound. A diving Wilson didn't get his stick on it. Washington 5-on-4 in the red sweaters for another 40 ticks. As the Coyotes will work through, Roussel will clear down.
Like a Labushkin made that stop right in front of the net. It looked like Wilson was diving for that loose puck. At least they made him scramble a little bit on this power play.
Anthony Mantha off the zigzag through center. Mantha plays the end boards. This gets shoveled down. Schultz looking in the direction of Eller. Ovechkin feeds the front. Mantha on the redirect just went wide. Eller settles. 8 seconds on the power play. Schultz in tight quarters. They flood this side with Mantha. Schultz switch the point of attack. Ovechkin's boomer goes wide, and the big rebound back into the Caps D zone. Rolls all the way to Samsonov, and he'll melt it ahead of Ladd.
Ladd was looking for a lucky bounce there. Did not get it off the catching mitt of Salmon.
6 minutes and 29 seconds into period 2. Huffing and puffing in Washington. Back to see the captain perform right after this. Capital One Arena. We get you to this evening's game notes brought to you by the Washington area Volkswagen dealers. Blocker, the Caps have plenty of good company in the Metro.
Yeah, the Metro's humming along, the best division in hockey right now. 32-11-8 combined among the clubs. The Atlantic second, the Pacific and Central out west not doing so well. One at 500, one below 500. The East has dominated the West so far through over 100 games to start this season.
Now this is a Washington team that's lost 3 of 5 at home, all in overtime, facing off against the Arizona Coyotes under the direction of Andre Tourigny.
Yeah, Andre, over 1,000 games, Joe. When you look at his OHL and Q record, it's amazing how long he spent in the junior ranks.
Tourigny would have been the head coach of the Ottawa 67s, I want to say, most recently with his junior time. Very popular with Hockey Canada.
Very popular. We're signed up for Hockey Canada. They love to have him as part of the junior program and the men's championship programs.
Jacob Chychrun wears 6 in the white for Arizona. Dyson Mayo is 61, partnering up with him as Schultz crosses over to play. Washington trapped in the defensive zone. Chychrun taking the boards away. Mayo for Larsson. Crunched there by Van Riemsdyk. 5-on-5 play, just about 7 minutes into period 2. Mayo for Larsson. Yashkin there, bumped by Schultz. They jam forward to the corner. Larsson works well in those small spaces. Play it up top to Chychrun. Chychrun settles, screen develops, the wrister goes wide. You could say he did it on purpose. Chychrun off of an NHL best last season, 18 goals and 23 assists.
He was a monster from the blue line. He even had a hat trick in a game, Joe. That's how much he was on the O for Arizona.
Arizona team that was in the Honda West Division last season. 24 wins, 54 points, placed 5th. Did not qualify for the postseason party. On the go, Orlov full blast. Orlov snapshots deflected by Chychrun. Hathaway there, didn't come up with it cleanly. Keller does, and the Coyotes will flee the zone. This lead for Kraus comes all the way, and the officials give the icing against Arizona.
Yeah, Kraus just didn't touch that puck and couldn't get there in time. He's a big rig. They like what he's done, but he's got to find his goal scoring. They've got to rekindle that. He's at 11-15, but only 4 goals last season. They need more power from him.
He's got 2 this year. He had 1 last night. He had 1 against St. Louis. He also had a breakaway stopped by Vasilevsky in the second period last night. Dangerous. And a big man like 6'4", 220, and he can go. Wilson plays it back. Keller nearly stole that from Faravari. Martin had to give up the line. Here comes Kraus, 2-on-1. Kraus lets it fly. Glove save. Samsonov.
Really nice save because Kraus actually made a 2-on-1. Keller was looking for the return pass, did not get it. He called his own number and ripped it. Good catching glove save, good rip off at the blue line. And you notice on the right side, Carlson goes down to prevent that pass coming across. Notice how wide open. Look at Keller open up for a one-timer on the right side of the screen. He calls his own number, and the catching mitt to the rescue for the Caps.
Kraus was telling the media last night after the game, he and his Coyotes mates have to make the simple play until they regain some of their confidence. This team is reeling at 0-6-1. Kuznetsov tries to find Wilson. Tom comes to get it. Back to point position for Washington. Switch it to Carlson. The wrister on the way. Broken up before it reached Vejmelka. Liam O'Brien getting help from Beagle to kick it back to center. There's a penalty call coming up. It's a cross check.
Yeah, it's going against the Capitals, so the power play will go to work. I think it's Ovechkin, the captain, heading off for a minor penalty for the cross check.
Oh. Referee Sharon has been having trouble with that microphone all night long.
Ovi's doesn't believe it. Here it comes in, and there's that hit right at the bottom of the pants in the jersey. And that sends Ovi off. Ovi in front of the net trying to create havoc. As the puck's rung around the boards, he falls down, doesn't get back up, and knocked down from behind. Ovi, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Number 29 in the white for Arizona is 21-year-old Barrett Hayton. Had an assist last night. They are very, very high on him. Soderberg snapshot off the outside of the pad of Samsonov as the Capitals clear.
That's another good stop. A little more heat here in the second by the Arizona Coyotes, putting some pressure on the Capitals' young netminder.
Shot counters now up to 7 for them. Hagelin off the steal. Hagelin will look after Hayton. He'll drop it to 21-year-old Victor Soderstrom. First round pick in the 2019 draft. Speaking of draft picks, Arizona going to be very busy at the table this coming summer.
3 firsts and 5 seconds in all the wheeling and dealing they did over the summer months in the offseason. They totally tore down the team. They're looking to rebuild in a big way.
Working it on the perimeter. This is an Arizona team that's never picked higher than 3 overall in the draft.
And they've had a chance, just lost the lottery every time, it seems. They want a first pick overall to help their franchise.
Soderstrom for Hayton. He'll fire. That's a BB that went wide. Chychrun rolls it back. Soderstrom walks the line. Soderstrom skip a man to the interior. Good pickpocket by Eller, and he'll send Wilson one-on-one against Soderstrom. Tom Wilson, snapshot, goes wide of the cage. We remain 0-0 nearing the midway mark of regulation time. With the NHL on NBC Sports Washington, Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin, Al Koken, your announce team. A shout out of thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew. Capitals will be hitting the road after this one. Next stop, Tampa. A game that you can see on NBC Sports Washington this coming Monday. Kraus drops it on back. Nobody home. Gostisbehere loops away. Just one power play shot for Arizona. Ovechkin's up at the penalty box door. He'll be set free in 6 seconds. Keller cross rink. Leapfrogs Kessel's blade there. Back come the Caps in transition. Hathaway working down the wing. Garnet Hathaway looks to the trailer. Second wave on the rush. Ovechkin just buzzed that one wide.
Sort of a surprise we haven't had a goal here in the second. The Capitals have outscored their opposition 12-5 in the second stanza. On the other side, Arizona's been outscored 15-2 in the second period. Something's got to break.
If you're a Coyotes fan, extremely pleased with what you've seen so far transpire. Sprong just missed the mark. Sprong gets his own rebound. Through 7 games, this Arizona team had the 3rd worst goal differential all time in NHL history. And they're playing a 0-0 game now with the Caps. Beagle, the former Capital, plays it on out. Eriksson gets twisted around. Gostisbehere driving back, puts that feed out to Louis Eriksson. Eriksson on the crisscross snapshot, stick save by Samsonov. Give him 8 for the game now. Orlov cleaning things up in front. Orlov spots Hendrix Lapierre. 19-year-old gets pressure from Eriksson.
Got to move his feet there. He got standing still. That's easier, much easier to check. And they strip the puck from him.
Larson looking for the trailer. This is offside, though, on the entry against Arizona. 8 minutes and 16 seconds to go. Period 2 continues with you on the other side of the break.
Second period. Scott, you guys have carried the play most of the game. You're badly out shooting them. What else do you want to see to get that first goal?
Well, I was going to say we got to just put one in the net. The goaltender's making some stops, but you know we can't change a thing. We're doing a great job getting pucks from the red line in, making them defend. They played last night, taking advantage of that, and just keep trying to wear down. Don't try to force stuff. Just stick with it.
Scott, thanks so much.
All right, you bet.
Guys, this is all-time meeting number 82 between these two franchises. The Winnipeg Jets relocating to Arizona in 1996. Coyotes have actually won their last 2 visits to D.C. 0-0 in this game with 8:15 to go in the second. The last time Arizona was here, Locke, back in November of 2019.
I sort of remember that. Wasn't that Connor Garland did a lot of damage?
Oh, yeah. Sneaky little winger. Off a neutral zone turnover, it's Dmitry Yashkin. Yashkin gets bullied by Orlov. Jensen finds Sprong, and he'll tip it into the zone. Into Karel Vejmelka's neighborhood. Vejmelka with 19 stops, and he'll cover up. Taking no chances now. Folks, we have some PenFed trivia for you, and it involves the Caps record holder for most career goals against the Winnipeg, Arizona franchise.
I don't have it. This
Well,
one I do not have.
If we were saying it was the Atlanta Winnipeg, then it would be that guy on the screen.
Correct.
But believe it or not, for Ovechkin, only 8 goals against this franchise. That's the lowest he has against any team, save for Vegas or Seattle, for that matter. But he has not scored all that many times against the Coyotes. Some memorable ones, and one very memorable one from his rookie year.
The goal,
Yes.
for sure.
Keller knocked down by Sherry, hoping there for an odd man rush. Gostisbehere recovers, plays it ahead. Hayton looking out wide to Keller. Keller put a high stick on. That's got to be a penalty on
It
9
is.
on the white.
Sure is.
He came up very high on Connor Sherry as the Coyotes will go shorthanded.
That was frustration, I think, coming out of Clayton Keller. He thought he was upended in the neutral zone. No call there. Then he goes after Connor Sherry and gives him the high stick to the head. That will send him off. Here comes the Caps power play.
Arizona penalty, 2 minutes high stick.
Give him another 2 for unsportsmanlike. Slapped the stick against the glass. Did not get that call. Caps go to the power play. Left side of the screen. Here comes from behind right there. Gets his stick up in the face. 2 hands on the stick. He heads off to the box. This is where the Caps got a strike.
With 7:10 to go in the second period, power play number 4. Strong work on the boards from Antoine Roussel. Roussel fidgets it loose. Labushkin turns back behind the cage. He didn't clear. Kuznetsov settles, fires, missed it on the short side, shrugged away by Vejmelka. Carlson at point position will walk the line. They isolate against Roussel. John Carlson steady as she goes. Kuznetsov with a headhunter. Look out. Connor Sherry right past his right ear.
Man, you rarely see Kuznetsov unload a one-timer and a slap shot to boot. He just ripped that baby. They're really taking care of Ovechkin on the other side, so he may want to call his number again.
Wilson carving into the zone. Tom Wilson feeds. Ovechkin tried to play it down low. Blocked off by Christian Fischer. Help comes from Labushkin, and he'll send it all the way. 0-0 in D.C. 6:15 to go in the second. Washington man advantage for another 55 seconds. Carlson moseys out of his own zone. Lars Eller on the second wave. Eller propels it into the corner. Mantha tied up with Chikrin. Sprong enters the picture. Anthony Mantha gave it up. Strahlman didn't get it out. Schultz, who had a power play goal against the Rangers here in the season opener. Caps get it set. Backdoor rotation looking for Ovechkin. Nothing there. Eriksson clears. Beagle from skate to stick. Jay getting wide, covered up by Schultz. No shots on the man advantage so far for Washington, which exists for another 20 seconds.
Did Beagle give them the power play meeting?
He might have.
Right?
Mayo and Sprong. You look to the boards as it comes back to Schultz. Schultz feeds for Mantha. Mantha quickly. Eller Tried to get it over a sliding defender. Swing and a miss there at point position from Schultz. And the Caps have to go back into Samsonov's neighborhood.
Too many saucer passes for my liking on this power play, and they've missed because they bounced.
Power play is done. We're at a 5-on-5 with 5 minutes to go in period 2. Nothing hockey game, Washington and Arizona. Orlov carefully out of his own end. Schultz sends it on. Great hit there delivered by Lyubushkin. He rattled Lapierre.
That's what he's known for, open ice hits and being physical. He's one of the more physical customers they have on their blue line.
Phil Kessel works below the goal line. Kessel bothered there by a couple of Washington defenders. Lapierre will exit along with Hagelin. Carl Hagelin gets the attacking line. Filters it into the corner. Hathaway was just a step late getting there. Washington has to reorganize. Farivari on the dump in with 4:20 to go in the second. Around she comes for Fisher. Fisher will delay. Soderstrom for Lyubushkin, who's been out there forever. Behind the D, Sherry driving in, fires. He missed it wide on the short side.
Nice job by the defender getting back and angling him wide so he didn't have a clear lane to the net. It looked like he had a step, but he was able to recover. Lyubushkin was actually trying to change at center, and it just about cost the Coyotes.
On the rewind, Connor McMichael steps in front of that outlet pass. McMichael slams on the brakes, lost the handle. Yashkin will clear for the Coyotes.
They've had good sticks, and they've been hard on the puck. Arizona, they're not giving the Caps much time and space, especially once they get the puck on their stick.
In recent years, in back-to-back games on consecutive nights, which Arizona is playing after lengthy travel last night to come in from Tampa, we know what that's like. The Arizona goals against average is usually close to 4 in the second of those back-to-backs. They've given Washington nothing. It's 0-0 with 3:15 to go in the second.
The Capitals dominated in the first in shots, 14-4. In the second, it's 5 apiece. It's a real tight hockey game defensively here in the second period in particular.
Sherry plays it out wide for Carlson. He'll touch it into the offensive zone. Wilson's there to rumble with Kuznetsov. And a penalty coming up.
And it's going to be a hook. And down in the corner, they get pushing and shoving. Wilson, might be Roussel. I'm not sure who's down there, but they're yipping and yapping. And definitely a hooking call down low.
As spotted by referee Blandina. We'll tell you who's guilty in just a few moments. 0-0 in Washington. The BMW Ultimate Moment Locker comes from the American Hockey League and your Washington, D.C. BMW centers.
Yeah, take a look at Elizabeth Mantha. And she's going to drop the puck at center ice. There's about 10 women going to referee American Hockey League games, and she's one of them. And I'm sure her brother is as happy as anybody to see his sister referee a hockey game. Her background was she was an established hockey player, very, very good hockey player, won a national championship. She still works full-time in Quebec in the emergency services, and she's doing the American League tonight. So congrats. This is a fantastic story for her.
Way to go, Elizabeth. Carlson with the drive as the Caps get their 5th power play chance on the night. Anthony was beaming with pride earlier today talking about Elizabeth as she was getting set for that American Hockey League assignment between Rochester and Laval.
They used to train together too, you know. They both get on the ice together. It's a hockey family for sure.
Kuznetsov, beautiful moves right on in, lost the handle. Beagle there to make the stick check. John Carlson steadies the power play setup. Ovechkin from deep. That's a laser beam that went off the glass.
Got to get their sights in line. That's a couple or 3 or 4 here this period. You've got a Kuzi shot way wide. That one from Ovi way wide. Got to hone in on that net.
Sherry with a smooth entry off that relay from Ovechkin. Kuznetsov takes it on the half board, turns it inside for Wilson, who's playing in there for the injured Oshie in this power play formation. Kuznetsov, as they change that formation, rotate to Sherry. Feed Kuznetsov, bump it out there. Ovechkin one-timer. Pad save by Vejmelka.
It's getting like he's getting more confident as this game goes along.
Kuznetsov against Vejmelka, who's made 22 stops. Yevgeny Kuznetsov getting downhill here. Settles. Force-feeding Wilson. That was blocked. Man advantage for another 30 seconds. Wilson closes. Fires. That's off the blocker of Vejmelka. Loose puck. Great effort by Wilson to dive and poke it back, but Kuznetsov's not there to keep it in the zone. Washington on the rewind. Kuznetsov right on in. Yevgeny Kuznetsov will delay. Spin it around the boards. Wants Carlson there. Upset by Fisher. Mantha feeds. Ovechkin fires. Blocker pad save by Vejmelka.
The PK unit is absolutely dead tired. They've had to kill back-to-back penalties here, and the Caps didn't take advantage. That last shot, the best of the bunch from Ovi.
4 power play shots. Sprong behind the D. Snapper right on, and a blocker save by Karel Vejmelka. More and more becoming the storyline in D.C. tonight. The netminder for Arizona, the 25-year-old native of the Czech Republic. Keller on the go in this 0-0 game. Cross ring. Snapshot to the front door. Ooh, that was dangerous. As the Coyotes are buzzing at the offensive end. Loose in front of Samsonov. Cleaned up there by Schultz. As Orlov sends it on to Mantha 3-on-3. Mantha on the cutback move. Orlov to the front. Deflected down. It bounces away from the top of the paint. Keller zooms through center with 15 seconds to go in the second right now. Finding Gostisbehere. Connecting to Keller. The feed inside, just poked wide of Samsonov.
That was a pretty good rewind by them in the neutral zone.
Stralman shoved away by Mantha, and we are 40 minutes complete in Washington, and still 0-0.
Who would have thunk? When you look at all the numbers, you break them all down, you say this was going to be a game that the Capitals will come out and take it to Arizona. Arizona has really stood strong. The Caps have to figure out their netminder.
Karel Vejmelka with 23 saves and counting. Washington out shooting Arizona 23-10 after 2. Ilya Samsonov would love a lead to protect. He and his mates are in this scoreless affair as we get you set for Integrate Intermission Live. Here now, Alexa Landestoy and Alan May. A whole lot of sound and fury through 2 periods tonight, but nothing on the scoreboard. Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals entertaining the Coyotes 0-0 through 2. Folks, you can join us for our next Caps telecast. It's Monday. The Capitals will tangle with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Coverage begins 6:30 Eastern on NBC Sports Washington with Caps pregame live. After the game, catch Caps postgame live, and throughout. On the go, stream the Capitals with the My Teams app. Locker, earlier tonight we asked PenFed Trivia. It had to do with which player owning the Caps record for most career goals against Winnipeg/Arizona. When I think of something that doesn't involve Alex Ovechkin, I guess Bondra and Gartner.
I'll go with Gartner. I'm going with Mike Gartner.
Good call. Happy birthday to Mike Gartner, whose number 11 hangs in the rafters here at Capital One Arena. That's the venue for tonight's Friday night festivities. Happy Hockey Halloween to you. It has been a season thus far for Arizona, filled with the bats and black cats, but my goodness, they are playing Washington well tonight. Mayo on a backhand. Stonewalled there by Ilya Samsonov in goal for Washington.
Mayo had a chance because the TBR lost his stick.
Chychrun lets this one fly. It's blocked into the end zone. Safety netting by Daniel Sprong.
A good couple of saves by Samsonov in front of the net. Some good work by Arizona coming out of the gate. They seem to have found some confidence hanging with the Caps. And as a team, you generally do that. You get through the first period, they get through the second period, and to start the third, a good left toer there by Sammy, keeping that puck out of the net.
Washington, we mentioned Tampa Bay on Monday. Arizona will be in Carolina to battle the Hurricanes on Sunday. Carolina just fantastic again tonight. 6 goals on the board at last check against Chicago. On the wall, Hagelin for Washington. Caps in the red sweaters. Starting the season with 6 of their first 8 at home. Things will change in the month of November. Lyubushkin right up the gut. Finds Soderstrom for a long drive. Deflected to the glass. Caps play 15 times in November, 10 of them on the road. Hagelin closing, odd man rush, cranks it up right to Vejmelka's chest protector. Orlov using the boards for Hagelin again. Lyubushkin there to greet him. Eller stepping into the role of Nick Dowd, with Dowd ailing, aggravating an injury earlier today. TJ Oshie missing week to week. Nicholas Backstrom still on long-term IR till at least the first week of November. Jensen recoils with Hagelin. Feeds it on the dasher. It gets through Eller. It'll roll back behind. Karel Vejmelka, the 25-year-old native of the Czech Republic. 24 saves so far tonight.
He's not getting too easy. It's too easy on him tonight. They've got to continue to put some rubber his way, and they've got to make him move. They haven't been able to put together lateral passes to make him open up a little bit.
Tom Wilson strides into the corner. Wilson diffused there by Stralman. Faravari fires, and crossing over to make the catch is Vejmelka.
Hagelin, a good opportunity to kick off on a 2-on-1, breaking down in the neutral zone, broke down the Coyotes, and here comes Hagelin, and there's the slap shot, and right into the belly of the goaltender, and then the sliding defenseman. I'm surprised he didn't screen him that much, but it hits him right in the crest. Soderstrom, their young prospect, up and coming first round pick, makes that sliding play.
Soderstrom, who made his NHL debut a season ago at the age of 19. 2 minutes deep in the third. Coyotes on the run with Kessel. Phil sweeps it back behind on through Larson. Taken there by Ovechkin. He'll trundle it on the boards to Wilson, 3-on-3. Wilson, cross-rink Faravari, tried to make one more. That was intercepted. Dyson Mayo for Larson. Sends it through center. Caps in the middle of a personnel change. Jacob Chikrin waltzing there to the corner. Kessel with a lift check from Ovechkin and vice versa. One-handed on. Brett Leeson, 49 in the red, making his NHL debut tonight. Summoned back in from the American Hockey League ranks. Coach Scott Allen gave him the call last night, told him to be ready. As it turned out, with the Dowd injury, Leeson is pressed into service.
Had about 6.5 minutes of ice time so far through 40 minutes.
He told us he'd have no trouble napping this afternoon. We thought he might be a little bit nervous.
Parents in Calgary could not get in for tonight's game, unfortunately.
That's too bad. Hendrix Lapierre working back through center. Lapierre, who scored his first NHL goal in his NHL debut this season. Van Riemsdyk for Schultz. Snapshot deflected. Yashkin there. Lapierre turns. Had that deflected to the glass. Just past the 3-minute mark in period 3. Sherry muscled by Stralman. Lapierre collared in the corner. Stralman gets involved too. Van Riemsdyk trying to put some shake and bake on Ladd. It's Sherry for Washington. Around Gostisbehere. Finds Schultz. Schultz from a knee. Fancy stick handling there. The Caps are still in possession.
Pretty good hit there by Ladd to not allow Schultz to get around him. Gave him a little shot. That's why he went down to his knee.
Schultz to Lapierre. Lapierre on the hook. Tried to play it through Fisher. No sail. Gets it back, though, does the youngster, to find Sherry. Sherry to the goal mouth. Just deflected away by Gostisbehere before Sprong could pull the trigger. Van Riemsdyk scuttle in the corner. Stralman double team. And that pass will come back into the Washington zone. Coyotes can make the change as Orlov moves uncontested out of his own end. Dmitry Orlov gets the center line, plays it hard around. Mantha lying in wait with Lyubushkin. This one winds up off of the rink.
Hard around. Mantha trying to get that puck right off his stick and up and over the glass. Faceoff will stay inside. Mantha's had a couple of good looks here in this hockey game, and he's a guy that's going to get more ice time, get more of an opportunity. He's got a couple of apples the last 2 games, and you look at his 5 points this year, 100 and 100, over 100 in each of those categories in goals and assists.
27-year-old Quebec native now in his first full season with Washington after that deal from Detroit in exchange for Jacob Vrana. Krause rolls it into the Washington zone. Mantha with a stretch pass to McMichael. In concert with Sprong through center, he'll drive it in. 4.5 clear in the third period. Washington doubling up Arizona and then some in shots, 25-12. The scoreboard where it matters most, though, 0-0. Mantha will flex this back into the Arizona end. Keller gobbles it up. Plays it on the boards. Liam O'Brien, former Washington Cap. Still remember when he tallied in Vancouver for his first NHL marker.
That was special, wasn't it?
It sure was. Kuznetsov through center. Playing it out wide. Wilson trying to get free from the hooks of Chikrin. Tom Wilson giving a bump there by O'Brien. Ovechkin lost the handle on the cradle, and it's Louis Eriksson driving back through center.
Arizona's turned the puck over a lot on the Caps just with their stick work. They've had a lot of good details with their sticks, preventing the Caps from getting inside their house in front of their goaltender.
5-on-5 play. The Caps have had 5 power plays tonight, 4 of them full-length variety.
7 shots total with the extra man. We thought it came alive last game, not so much against his penalty killing unit tonight.
A penalty killing unit that's given up power play goals in 6 of 7. Strawman, Fisher, right up the gut, snapshot, Samsonov the save, rebound Fisher, blocked by a sprawling defensive play by Van Riemsdyk.
That was a splits. He looked like a goalie there and obviously played some ball hockey in his pass, because that's a beauty. That's a left toe on the splits.
The Capitals relieve the pressure with an icing call.
A lot more pressure from Arizona than they've had all game long. And here's his last opportunity. There's 57 in front. Here comes a puck across. There's a shot by Fisher, and there's a left toe save by the defenseman, preventing that puck to get through to Samsonov.
Nick Jensen and Martin Faravari leading the team in blocks so far this season, but that was an exquisite one from 30-year-old Trevor Van Riemsdyk.
Clock problem. They have 35-55 left here in the third. They straighten it out.
35.
Yeah, they've got it down. 13:56. They're just making sure they're at the right number right now.
Referees tonight, Brandon Blandina and Francis Chiron, along with Steve Barton and Jesse Marquis. The linesman whispering in the ear now of Francis Chiron.
And they're determining if that's an icing call or not, and that's what they're determining. The Caps didn't think it was, which would allow them to make a line change, and that's what they're allowing them to do right now. The Capitals complained that they got the call wrong. They huddled up and they changed their decision to make it a non-icing call. Face-off comes to the neutral zone.
And we see a TV timeout called for. Get you back to Capital One Arena in just a few moments.
They played last night. What can you do the rest of the way to make them pay the price for that?
Keep doing what we're doing. I know it's frustrating. We should be scoring some goals. We're getting great looks. But sometimes it takes 58, 59 minutes, so we got to stick to what we're doing. Keep playing in the offensive zone, shooting pucks. We need a little bit more traffic. This goalie's playing well, so we got to make it a little harder on him.
All right, Blaine, thank you.
We share our appreciation with the Capitals coaching staff for lending their insights throughout the night to Al Koken. Joe and Craig with the upstairs. 13:50 to go regulation in a 0-0 game. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who made an outstanding play a few moments ago to keep it that way, drops it back into the Arizona end. Chychrun wastes no time, exploding back through center for the Larson dump in. Samsonov tried to swat that down. On the wall, Ladd. Lassoed there by Van Riemsdyk. Tap, Washington away through center. Hagelin on a cross-corner dump in. Hathaway the first to it. Getting away from Jacob Chychrun. Hathaway, topside Orlov. And Dimitri cradled that one back to center, so it's offside against the Capitals. Folks, Burke and Herbert Bank, they're once again donating $100 for every Caps goal scored to a deserving local nonprofit organization. This season's Scores for Kids recipient, Grandin Val, Fairfax, Virginia-based organization placing volunteers in local Title I elementary schools, helping students and their teachers. We are hoping to add some money to the coffers before too long in this third period. The Washington team that's been one of the highest scoring squads in the NHL's first couple of weeks, kept at bay by Karel Vejmelka and the Arizona Coyotes. Wilson keeps it on the woodwork. Ovechkin is there. Alex, who has points in all 7 games so far this season, skates it all the way to the point. Kuznetsov for Jensen, robbed there by Vejmelka. That one hit him in the blocker and shoulder. Ovechkin centering pass clangs off the frame of the goal. Caps at the offensive end. Wilson turns the corner, feeds for Jensen. Jensen off the delay. Kuznetsov. Wilson from deep, right to the midsection of Vejmelka.
Notice nobody in front of the net on that Wilson drive from the point. Nobody in red could get there in time. Here's the rotation up high. This is their best chance, maybe of the game. The way Jensen walks in, finds a seam. They were trying to protect everybody else, and Jensen found himself wide open on a beautiful pass from Kuznetsov. That was a beautiful elevated pass right under the stick of Jensen, activating, trying to get the Caps the first goal.
Nick already with 2 this season in this initial month of October. 12:20 to play, regulation time. Coyotes able to clear. Carlson from glove to stick, wrestling with O'Brien, who knocked him down. Sherry sprints into the corner. Strawman there first. Bounced loose to the slot area. Turning, pad save by Vejmelka. That was a sneaky release from Hendrix Lapierre.
And they had good presence in front of the net. Leeson was all alone, just couldn't gobble up that rebound, but I like the fact that he used his size to at least take some eyes away from the goaltender.
Lapierre once more with a pass through center, trying to hook up with Leeson. Leeson, who would have spent some time on the wing with Connor McMichael last year in the American Hockey League. Louis Eriksson back to the point. Chychrun hatchets that one towards the cage. It was blocked. Mayo scampers in, gets punished along the boards by Farivari.
Mayo's had a pretty good game. He's played over 18 minutes.
Roussel off the steal. Rister coming, block. Roussel's follow-up chance also turned away, and Washington looks to counterattack. Lapierre late in his shift. He'll dump it in and exit stage right. Nearing the midway mark of the third. Mayo for Chychrun. Chychrun failed to clear. Mayo cleans it up. Looks out there for Fisher. That doesn't go far. Dyson Mayo on the back pedal. 25-year-old BC native. Off the boards. Kessel closing. Larson tries to play it to the high-scoring winger. Phil drives back to point position. Skids to a stop. Settles. Rister on the way. That's over the head of Samsonov. Chychrun protecting from Sprong. Gave it up. Orlov for Washington, pouncing on that loose biscuit. Shots on goal are 29-13 in favor of the guys in the red sweaters. Orlov starts the breakout. Dimitri on target for Jensen. He'll drive it in. Vejmelka slows it down. He's been good with that goalie stick.
He sure has. Really helped out his defenseman in a big way.
He helped Soderstrom there on the clear. Jensen gets over in front on Ladd. At the line, this is going to be whistled for an offside against Arizona. Folks, listen up. Xfinity Mobile delivers fast nationwide 5G on the most reliable network. Save on your wireless bill with Xfinity Mobile.
Tom Wilson, nice A on his jersey. He's one of the leaders of this hockey team and the leadership group. When one guy goes down that's wearing an A, Tom Wilson first up. And they're very happy in his leadership growth since he has arrived here in Washington.
TJ Oshie now listed week to week. An Arizona team without Dzingel and Timmins. Their netminder Carter Hutton, no Schmaltz nor Galchenyuk on the list of injuries for Andre Turini. Soderstrom, Rister deflected in front. Samsonov just managed to get those pads together in time. Jensen lifting it on. Orlov sidestepping Keller neatly. It winds up on Keller's blade. He took a shoulder wrap from Wilson. As Orlov powers through neutral right into Soderstrom. Wilson marching ahead. Great back check there by Keller. On the go, the youngster Barrett Hayton. They're trying to bulk him up, Locker. They're spending a lot of time with him in the weight room. He had a great camp, then he got hurt. On the move, Hathaway to the outside. Eller run to the ditch. Still nothing with 9 minutes to go in the third. Eller points it for Carlson. This way to Farivari. Pressure comes on the outside from Jay Beagle. Hagelin waiting. He has Gostisbehere in his hip pocket. O'Brien muscling up on Eller.
He's going to get
penalty call coming.
Yeah.
Farivari settles. Front door looking there for Hathaway. It skips to the glass, and now Washington goes to power play number 6. O'Brien putting up a protest to referee Sharon. Referee says, "Come with me." Nothing. Visit washcaps.com/college series for more info. Locker, this penalty information brought to you by Hyundai. It's Liam O'Brien to the sin bin.
Yep, holding down low. Didn't like the call, but he had his arms around Eller. He goes off. The Capitals come up with another power play to try to get the lead. O'Brien, one of the 5 different former Caps. Beagle, Yashkin, O'Brien, Boyd, and then Phil Housley behind the bench, a former Cap.
8.5 to go regulation. Critical juncture of this game. Washington skating 5-on-4 in the red, and Larson sends them packing.
They did a nice job. That was good work between the defenseman and Larson. Lyubushkin and Larson worked it to perfection, taking away anything along that board there.
Kuznetsov strides into the zone, looks for the trailer. That's Wilson. Washington gets it set. Carlson playing catch. Work it this way for Ovechkin. John Carlson at the midpoint. Beagle staring at his former mate. Kuznetsov feeds. Carlson closes. Wrister. Score!
Well, here comes the shot. They work it around. They kick it back to Carlson, and Carlson just moves laterally, and to me it was deflected in front. And somebody got it. Might have been Connor Sherry, but it sure changed direction in my eyes, right in front of the net. Maybe it didn't. It sure looked on that first view like it did. But Carlson on a nice little wrist shot, and it goes in. Finally broke the barrier in front of the net, and they've got the 1-0 lead.
12:02 the time of the tally. This is an Arizona team now that's allowed a power play goal in 7 of its 8 games this season, but up until this past moment, this is the best penalty killing job they've done by far, keeping Washington at bay. The Caps breaking out on top as the Coyotes look to respond swiftly. We're back to 5-on-5 with 7:40 to go in this third period. The long clear back through center, fenced down by Stralman.
They need to be on their best behavior now. The next little play, they will be sent to the penalty box.
Clayton Keller tries to feed that one through Jensen, knocked aside as the puck squirts to the front of the cage. Stralman there, stuck
There's
attempt.
the hook.
Stopped by Samsonov. He'll cover up.
Just like I thought, the Caps are going to the penalty box. A hook down low. You knew the next time anything was going to happen in front of the net, Laviolette's team was going to be short-handed. They had talked to the official after the O'Brien call, and they were asking questions a lot about why he was sent to the box. Now they get the payback. Hathaway's a disbeliever. You could just feel that coming. And it looked like Hathaway did get a little bit of a hook down in tight, right in front and close to the paint. And there's the hooking call. Hathaway doesn't like it. The fans don't like it. And here comes Arizona in their power play. Check out in front of the net here. Watch Hathaway reach right there. And because it hits Stralman's bottom hand, the call is going to be made every time. He hit the hand, not the stick.
Ladd, Hayton, Yashkin out there. Chychrun and Soderstrom on ice, 5 in the white. Third man advantage for Arizona. The early indications of that lead goal for Washington. Carlson from Kuznetsov and Ovechkin on the power play at 12:02. Soderstrom weaving his way through center. Drops it on off. Gets it back. Plays it on the wing for Yashkin. As Ladd was bumped away, Tom Wilson doing the work on the PK. Shots on goal are 30-15 in favor of Washington. Just a slim 1-goal margin with 6:45 in the third. Jacob Chychrun. Attacked there by Kuznetsov, who will peel off and change the PK. Creeping through center. Picking up speed, it's Phil Kessel. Kessel working the wall. Jensen comes to get him. As this will roll right through Samsonov's crease. At point position, Soderstrom, then Ladd. Andrew Ladd leaves it back behind the cage for Kessel. Around the horn, Chychrun, then Soderstrom. Man advantage for Arizona, another 50 seconds. Chychrun waits. Soderstrom flushed out by Hagelin. Yashkin finds Chychrun. Kessel greeted immediately by Jensen. Nice work to force him back to the point. And that bad pass will make a recovery for Arizona through neutral necessary. Keller on the hop. Clayton Heller lost his balance there on the cutback. Sherry goes the other way for Washington and scuttles it into the corner. Lawson Krause with 20 seconds left in the sin bin for Hathaway. Gostisbehere motors back. Leaves for Keller, picking up speed. Kessel at the line for Fisher. On the end wall it comes. Krause plays it on top. Move it for a Gostisbehere one-timer. Blocked by Sherry. Wilson pouncing on a loose puck, sends it out. There's Hathaway right out of the box, one-on-one. Garnett Hathaway lets it go. Almost caught Vejmelka napping there. He made the save and the cover-up. We'll get you back for the final 5:08 of regulation time. 1-0 Washington. Alexa, we appreciate it. Stick around, folks. That's Caps Postgame Live, presented by your DC area Acura dealers. Capitals have been pretty buttoned up defensively. They've only given up 15 shots. And really, if you think back, in 17 of the last 19 games in the regular season, going back to last year, less than 30 shots surrendered. Wilson leaves it there for Kuznetsov. 2-on-3 with Ovechkin working wide. Alex has continued his early season point scoring streak. It's at 8 games with his helper, the lead goal coming from Carlson. Kuznetsov's backhander just rolled wide. Kuznetsov has points in 6 of his 8 games this season. Wilson drags it on around. Orlov at the top. Dmitry Orlov getting active. They work the cycle. Orlov spins down low. Kuznetsov with his defender hung up. Evgeny Kuznetsov feeds crisply for Orlov. There's Wilson covering up at point position. Ovechkin sends it out wide. Jensen flutters that one wide of the cage. Orlov taking the boards away. Arizona fails to clear on the first effort. Stralman will get a second chance. With 3:45 left in regulation, we'll keep our eyes on the netminder Karel Vejmelka. See when Andre Tourigny will lift his netminder for the extra attacker. Team that has been frustrated, Arizona, been playing better than they would think their record would indicate. At 0-6-1. No place to go but up, right? As Hathaway golfs it in.
Oh, they want, when you look at their schedule coming up, they didn't give them an easy road trip. I mean, to Carolina, come on. And they have a 6-game roadie right off the get-go for a team just trying to mesh together after having only 9 players that were here last year. It's been a very difficult start for this hockey team.
Coach Tourigny says we've been paying for our mistakes. We've done some good things without anything to show for it. They played well tonight. They're trailing by 1 on enemy ice with 2:45 left in regulation. Still 5-on-5. Ladd moves it to Soderstrom. South of the goal line, Beagle arm in arm with Schultz. Schultz has more goals against the Coyotes franchise than any he's placed in his career. Justin now a 10th-year pro. Samsonov with 15 stops. Watching as this one is skied to center by Sherry. Soderstrom waiting at the line. Fancy stick handler, snapshot, no worries. And Samsonov will cover.
You should get the PenFed Power Cash Rewards card.
I hear it's got no annual fee. PenFed lets me earn on all my jumps.
Earn up to 2% cash back on purchases, whether you're in uniform or not.
Once again, Craig Laughlin just parachuting in for the third period.
I paid attention this year when I see that commercial. I always think of that. Ovi gets a point in that power play. He's the first ever 36 or older player with an 8-game point streak to start a season.
Way to go, grade 8, who played better than 24 minutes he played on Wednesday in that OT loss to Detroit. Showing no signs of his age. Orlov plays it ahead. Krause was there in front of the captain to force the Capitals back. 2:05 left. We near the bottom of the hour with the NHL on NBC Sports Washington. Down the stretch, Coyotes and Caps. They won't see each other again till April 22 in the Valley of the Sun. Jensen out there for Ovechkin. Alex swats it into the offensive end and then gets back into that lock position.
Oh, their neutral zone. They are tidy there. Look at that. 1-3-1 is perfect as you could set it up. I mean, when you look at that, it doesn't get any prettier than that when you're a coach. As their goaltender trying to come out, but it's an offsides at the Capitals line.
Folks, we have time for the Chevron Human Energy, thanks to our NHL Edge information.
Well, these guys always have energy. Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, Wilson, the top line. 21,000, 17,000, 16,000 plus when it comes to traveling on the ice. Distance in feet.
The Edge tracking information on display there. Vejmelka will be coming to the bench as soon as the Coyotes get that center line, you would think. As Kessel rip roars through center and sends it in. Vejmelka's on his way. 6 attackers out there for Arizona in white. 1-0 Washington. Karlsson, the power play goal in the third, giving the Caps the lead to protect. Orlov around the wall. Stepping in front of him is opposite 9, Clayton Keller. Midpoint, Chychrun. Work it to the outside. Chychrun playing the two-man game. Stepping in. Snapshot on the way from Kessel. Blocked. Hathaway turns. In the final minute of regulation, he'll clear.
That was a huge block. You look at block shots at the end of the night. Well, that was a great one down low because Kessel tried to pull the trigger.
Yes, indeed. This is a Chicken McNugget minute if Washington converts into the empty net. Keller on the delay. Send it out there cross rink. 35 seconds left. On the wall, Orlov around for Karlsson. Along the boards, but not clear just yet. 6-on-5 for Yashkin to operate. Keller forced there by Karlsson. Round and round they go. Ovechkin to the empty cage. Bullseye!
Now the fans are on their feet here. Ovi a 1+1, the empty netter for Alexander Ovechkin. The most NHL empty netter goals in history is Wayne Gretzky at 56. Ovi's got his 41st empty netter. Comes off the wall and he buries it. No mistake. Right into the crux of the curve. And the Caps will escape with a victory against Arizona tonight.
1939, the time of the tally. Ovechkin in the McNugget minute. Converting for Washington faithful. The Caps will be making their way to the state of Florida, where there are 2 really good hockey teams waiting for them. The Caps will come through the month of October at 5-0-3. This one in the books for Ilya Samsonov, his 4th career shutout.
And as Blaine Forsythe told Al Koken, we got to stick with it. It might be the 57th, 58th minute that we're going to strike. Well, they strike late, and they stuck to the process. They stuck to the game planning. Kudos to Arizona. They played a textbook road game for a team trying to get their first victory. Ovi and Sammy give the big hug. That was a hard-fought hockey game. And Ovi, 1+1, and there you see it. With a little sizzle on it, too. And he doesn't miss that baby right inside the post. And it comes out in a hurry. Asks for the puck for Alex Ovechkin.
He never babies those, especially from that distance.
No.
He keeps the pace up so it doesn't drift. And on the goal scoring list all time, now 2 away from the Golden Brett.
It's an amazing list he's on. He's already passed so many great Hall of Famers. Dion recently. Now he's got Brett Hall, Yager, Howe, and Gretzky to look forward to.
Caps fans on this Friday night, happy hockey Halloween. A 2-0 win for Washington, a goal in that last minute. With Washington scoring in that final minute, you get a free 6-piece McNugget with a minimum $1 purchase on the McDonald's app tomorrow at participating McDonald's.
I like that idea. That makes me hungry.
Slap shot parading the Caps win flag as Washington gets the better of the Coyotes, an Arizona team that had won 3 of the last 4 against Washington. First visit for Arizona here in just about 2 years, and the Caps get 2 goals. Ovechkin and Carlson providing the ammunition, just enough for Ilya Samsonov, who had the 16 saves in the shutout tonight.
And they played a good game against the Caps. They rattled them at times. They kept themselves in the game. Very well played game by both clubs.
Send you down to rinkside. Here's Al Koken.
Well, John, all night long you guys were out shooting the Coyotes by a 2-1 margin. Was it difficult to kind of stay patient in this game tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's sometimes it's easy in the situation to get a little frustrated and try to divert from the plan of trying to make plays on your own instead of kind of just sticking to the blueprint that we felt like we were carrying the game. So we talked about it, and I think we did a good job of it too.
You finally cashed in on your last power play. Did you guys make any changes? I noticed maybe a little more traffic in front of their goalie.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the goal, trying to find the open guy, and it just depends on their pressure and what they're doing. And I felt like we were on our toes on the power play. We didn't get great results because we had a lot of them, but I felt like we were on our toes attacking and getting some good looks. And if we continue to do that, I think it's going to be good.
You got a point out of every game in the month of October. Knowing how tough the Metropolitan Division is, how big is that?
Yeah, it's a great start, but we worked for this month, and we had a great month, and we just got to stick to the same things that made us successful.
John, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
John Carlson gets the game-winning tally. Washington, it took quite a while to break through Karel Vejmelka, but the Caps do get the job done, Locker. And overall, when you think about the month of October, 5-0-3, you told us how important it was to finish up strongly, and they do. They get the 2 points they need. Overall, how would you think Peter Laviolette might assess this first month?
I think he's going to be very pleased. I think when you looked at the schedule, the type of teams they were playing, he's very happy going the way they did. I think the big boys have really stepped up to start this season. Again tonight, Kuzi a couple of points, Ovi a couple of points. They've been leading this hockey team.
Time for us to get to the crossover. It's brought to you by WebEx, by Cisco, and we send things to our studios to Alan May. And Alan, when you try to dissect this game tonight, why did it take Washington so long to break through Vejmelka?